Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new episode of Ask Victor. This is the videos where I ask the people watching my videos to put questions and I will answer them the next month. So here you can make any type of question, and of course I will keep the right if I want to answer or no, but in principle I answer anything. I don't have problems to be open with you. So I will answer them normally the 1 month after, middle of the month, can be 14, 15, 16, around these dates, depending on the month, depending on the projects that I'm working on. So now I'm going to answer the questions that I received in September, and I will go through them, and here you will see my opinion in some points or projects or questions, that just all type of questions that people put here. So the first questions are from Vince Venturella, a highly recommended channel, by the way. Thanks a lot, Vince. So great answers as always, sir. So here are some new questions for you. You mentioned the languages. How many do you speak, and what would you most want to learn next, aside of French and Flemish? So I speak 3 languages. I speak Spanish, I speak Catalan, and I speak English. I can understand quite well French, although I don't speak. Especially in reading, I can read French, and I can more or less understand Italian as well, because they are not too far from Catalan or Spanish. So if I will make the effort, because I'm a little bit lazy to learn more languages, but if I have to learn another language, most likely I will go for German. I think German is a very important language in Europe, and it's good if you have German. If you have German, it will help a lot too, and you know German and English, you can start understanding Flemish as well. It is a different language, but yeah, I think first, being in Belgium, I should do more effort to learn French and Flemish. But out of this, yeah, I will say German. Are you going to go for entering anything into Golden Demon next year, either Europe or go to UK? What about Armies on Parade? Yeah, I've been very yeah, if I was thinking, I was almost going to enter on the Golden Lemon Europe last year, but I get sick the day I wanted to go to the Golden Demon, so I was really pissed off because I bought the ticket to go there. I was ready, and I got sick the day. I was really impossible for me to wake up. I was destroyed, so I could not enter. I was planning to enter with my, most likely I will not have one, but it's something that I want to start going and look what the people is presenting there. So if there is again the opportunity, a Golden Demon in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, I will go. So I will try to go there. I will not go with the aspiration of winning, but on the aspiration of participating and see and be benchmarked with other painters. What about Armies on Parade? I'm really still hesitating, but yeah, most likely will enter the 40k one. This is my plan. I need to check. But I'm planning to participate on the 40k Armies on Parade. And what painting technique would you most like to improve next? This is a good point. I want to keep improving on non-metallic metals. I really enjoyed when I did my, what's called this, my Grey Knight, the Ball Loose. I really enjoyed doing non-metallic metal for first time, and I would like to do more on that. So I'm thinking to do more in future. The other thing I want to learn more is how to do scratches, damages, chip paint, and all this type of weathering on miniatures. So there I do quite basic stuff, so I think they have their room to learn more about that. Yeah, good questions, Vince, as always. Of course, focus on the hobby. Thanks a lot for the questions, really appreciate it. Next, another great channel, Edic BR 40k. Great show, Victor. Good to see the questions coming in for you. Are you into cars? What will be your dream car to own? I'm not fanatic of cars. I like cars. I am a little bit disconnected recently, but I always loved cars. And there is maybe two cars that will. There is one brand that always drive my passion, and it's Ferrari. If I will be able to have a Ferrari, this will be my dream. Of course, with the cost and the maintenance that these cars need, no way I will have a Ferrari. And on top, it's not a very familiar car. Maybe the other option is to have a Maserati, but yeah, my dream car will be a Ferrari. The other option, the other thing car I look a lot is Tesla. Especially, yeah, Tesla is making. I'm really curious to see where Tesla goes, but Tesla really make an amazing electrical car. So these are the two extremes. But if I have to bet for one brand and cars, I will like to go for Ferrari. I also loved to watch Formula One. I was following a lot Formula One, and especially I was a fan of Ferrari as well there. Dan Quimbo, here another question. Great discussion. Out of all the Chaos characters, which one do you think is Warship should remake? Also, are there any Imperium characters that they should make miniatures for? The first question for me is obvious. They have to remake Abaddon. Why Abaddon have this goofy miniature still today? I have the all Abaddon when it was released, was an amazing miniature, but today it's dwarf versus all other miniatures. So I really think we need a new Abaddon. Also, what Imperium characters they should make miniatures for? I hope the first thing I will say, I would like to see the Primarchs. Especially, I would like to see to appear more Primarchs. Lehman Russ is an obvious one. It should come back. I also think Lionel Johnson should come back. There are Primarchs that are more difficult to bring back, like Sanguinus or what's called the one from the Iron Hands. I forgot now the name. I forgot what the Primarch of the Iron Hands. I think it's going to be difficult to bring it back because it was killed by Fulgrim. But yeah, if really, I would like to see more Primarchs. And then, yeah, I think this is the main characters that I would like to see coming. So, yeah, I don't know. And there were some from, yeah, the how it's called, the guy. Yeah, I would like to see, for example, some of the Inquisitors from the novels. It will be fun to see more characters from the novels as well. I think in the novels there are characters that have a lot of background. Will be fun to see them in action and to have a profile for them as well. So because in the novels I have read about quite interesting characters. Except who was called Inquisitor. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit. And then I would like to see remake for me the Tanith regiment with the Commissar Gaunt and all and the main characters there. So I think in the novels we have a lot of room for new characters, and they can explore a little bit more. That they don't need to invent new ones. Even on the Grey Knights, there is the novels of the Grey Knights, and there is quite interesting characters there. I hope you find my questions interesting, Dan. Let's go to the next one. Robotech Junkie say thanks for the creating a viewer-based feedback video. I have questions for you next as Victor. Here we have the questions. When do you painting tutorials, what camera are you using and where it is mounted? Oh, this is going to be difficult to show because it's the camera I'm using now to make the video. But it's it's quite a basic camera, compact camera. It's a JVC camera. And let me see if I can take it out of the. So I will show you. I will stop. Give me a moment. I will show you how normally I do this. So as you see here, this is my painting table, and this is how I film. So normally this is pointing down, right? And here we have the support for the tripod. So I put the camera on the tripod facing down, and from here I focus down what I'm painting. I used to have a small tripod from the side, and it was not working well because if I wanted to be very close, my hand was in the middle of the camera on the shooting. So I find this to be the system that is working the best to me, with this tripod and having the camera. The camera I have is a JVC, okay, and the model, sorry, I have to turn it down. So the model I have is the GZ E105BE. So it's a compact camera, quite a basic one. I think was in the cost point 100 something euros, not too much. So it was quite a basic camera, but I'm quite happy how it's doing the footage. Although, yeah, I think most likely we'll need to wait a little bit more because I don't have too much control on the light contrast and the color warm. So, but the color temperature, I will say. So this is how I paint. Okay. And normally I'm here painting, and the camera is pointing from here. Okay. Normally it's pointing. I have to turn 180 degrees the footage because the camera normally will be placed like that, and you will see that is you will see that I come from the top, so you need to turn the footage by video editing. So yeah, I hope this is explaining how I do the videos. Maybe I will do more in the video how I do that. So that was showing how I paint, how I do my tutorials. So next questions: do you find some of the vehicles and models for 40K too big for the tabletop? They make the gaming area cluttered. This is a good point. I like them, and I always. So I was playing I was playing since second edition. So in previous we did not have big vehicles. Even in the first editions, there were very little miniatures. What I think is clogging more or is making the area look more cluttered is when you have too many troops, or when I think it's more that we have decreased the cost of the miniatures and we have increased the points we play. When I was in second, third edition, I was playing 1,500 points most of the times, and the miniatures were costing more points. So in average I used to have much less miniatures on the table. Now we used to play more on the 2,000 area, and the miniatures are cheaper. And normally this is represented that you have much more miniatures to put there. I don't think it's problem of the big vehicles, because normally big vehicles will make the other effect. The problem I see with big vehicles, and I find in some of the tournaments I was playing with the Shadowblade, is that if you put a lot of terrain, they are difficult to move on the table. Unless you are a knight, then you have more facility to move. But if you are a vehicle and you start putting terrain that is impossible for vehicles, it starts making the life a little bit difficult for these big vehicles. But as I said, I started working on playing on second, third edition, fourth, and when they launched for the first time the Baneblade, that was more for apocalyptic games, because it was the moment that Baneblades were not allowed on normal games. I bought the Baneblade from the first day because I really wanted to make this big vehicle. It was something that I was doing for long, because I was looking at the Forge Wall and I never make the step to go to Forge Wall until I bought in second-hand market quite cheap a Thunderhawk. But then I always was thinking, I want to put these things on the table, I want to play Apocalypse. And then I realized that nobody wanted to play that. And so I was happy when they allowed the super heavy on normal games. I know that they put some scenarios in the past for normal games, very special, where one army had a super heavy and the other army have a vantage, and you have to do this ahead. So it was like special missions to try to kill the super heavy. What I also find interesting, there was an interesting way of putting the super heavies as well on the table. But to be fair, if you don't put them open, you don't see them on the table. So if you restrict just to some games, we will never do an apocalyptic tournament. So it's going to be very strange. If you put a special mission that you have to kill a super heavy, yeah, it's a special mission for narrative gaming. So you will never see this in tournaments. So and then by definition, you don't see this on pickup battles on shops, because people on pickup battles on shop follow the tournament rules. Okay, so this is quite limiting. So then means that you only can use these big vehicles in some groups, and if you really thought in advance. I think that was the same problem for the special characters when Abaddon was not allowed on the table unless you arrived to agreement with your opponent. So what was meaning at the end is that you were not seeing, you were seeing the Abaddon miniature on the table a lot of times, representing just a Chaos Space Marine. So, and this, when I say Abaddon, I mean any special character. So I don't think they clutter the terrain, especially if you abuse. The problem is, more than the cluttering, is that these vehicles are difficult to balance. For me, this is the main problem. If you make them too expensive, then they're undervalued. If you make them too cheap, like what's happening with the what's called this, the Wraith Knight, okay, then this is an auto include, as what's happening with the Elder. So they are difficult to balance. I think now with the new rules are more balanced. We are going to see them more on the table, but I don't feel that they are super overpowered. And I think one of the things that is making the difference is that now all weapons can wound everybody, and there are some good weapons to really deal with super heavy. So yeah, I'm happy to see them on the table. I don't see there is so far a vehicle that I find, well, most likely the vehicles that cost 2,000 points, like the Titans. I think these are really for apocalyptic or super big games. So, but yeah, if someone is coming to a game of 2,500 points and he's putting a Warlord on the table, or no, it's the Warlord is the other one. Today I'm really bad on that. But if he's putting just a Titan, well, it can be also an interesting game. So, but he's not going to clutter neither, because he's going to have only one miniature. So yeah, I don't think that. I think more the problem is how you balance these super big vehicles with the rest of the armies. And then we have Sherlock the Wanderer, and we have questions from Shakespeare. So we went away from 40k and we go to Shakespeare. At what rate do you think that Games Workshop will release new warbands in order to keep the game alive on the long term per year? And do you think Games Workshop will commit to support the game launching a global platform to support local tournaments? I'm pretty sure Games Workshop will support this game heavily at the beginning. I think in the first year we are going to see all the main factions there, so all the ones we have seen in the book. So I mean, we know that 4 are already prepared. There are 2 that come in the box. That is the Bloodbone and the Stormcast. I'm really sure and we know that they will launch the Death and the Orcs, or the Skeletons and the Orcs. I'm pretty sure the 5 layers will come very fast, and the Skavens. Skavens will come really straightforward. So we are going to have at least 6 teams very fast. They will support tournaments, and if they have a good reception by the community, and looks like that is going to be the case, I think we are going to see warbands very often. I would say maybe new warband more often than, for example, Blood Bowl. Much more often. So I think we are going to see a new warband a month, or every 2 months. If it's really successful, I think we are going to see new miniatures almost a month or every 2 months. I will put, to be conservative, every 2 months a new warband. Because at the end, yeah, and I'm pretty sure the pipeline for the first year is already done. So we have seen 6 warbands. Of course, there are the game plus 4. So I think for the next, until the beginning of until the end of this fiscal year, we are going to see from now to July at least we are going to see 4 more warbands apart than 2 basic. So this means a rhythm of 2 per month. And I think they will try to keep that, because if it's like something like Magic, you want to keep releasing new things out there. So you want to keep releasing warbands and cards, so the people needs to keep updated. And if it's not too expensive, and to make a warband is not going to be that expensive compared, for example, on collecting Magic cards, I think it's going to be quite easy. The only problem I see in Shakespeare is and there is a terminology in market that is called cannibalize. So it means cannibalize is when you launch a new product and you start hitting your other product. For example, Shakespeare can start pulling people from Age of Sigmar to Shakespeare. So does not mean that you don't play anymore Age of Sigmar, but it means that people that may spend money on Age of Sigmar will start spending money on Shakespeare. And this cannibalization. So the important is that how much new players it will bring, and because cannibalizing is not good. You want to increase your numbers of consumers. If you just shift them from Age of Sigmar to Shadowspire, it's not a good move, because Shadowspire looks to require less investment in principle. And people have a limited amount of money, so you really need to see if this game is going to be able to bring new players. If they see this shift, I think they will stop supporting, because it's not convenient. If they see that the people the game is bringing new people to, because at the end of the day is to bring new people into the war game, and then from Shadowspire to jump into Age of Sigmar. I think this is the strategy. If this is working, they will really keep pushing that. A lot of people will not jump from Shadowspire to Age of Sigmar, but if they can drag new players, if they can take new players, new people in the hobby, although they remain in Shadowspire, I think it's they will keep supporting, at least to bring news and to keep growing the community. Looking forward, it will all depend. I think will all depend on how much they sell of the first warbands that they are going to put out there, and how much games they sell at the beginning. Of course, they will push a lot, and you need at least 1 full year of a strong campaign to make it work after launch. At least, this is my opinion. If you don't support this for 1 year and you just support, it's not going to work. So I'm pretty sure we are going to see Shadowspire with the support of Games Workshop in some of the major events as we have seen until now. So they will go to all the major events. They will keep pushing for that. And I guess if they see that this is growing, the base of players, the base of consumers they have, they will keep pushing that. So, and that's all for now. That's all what I wanted to talk now. A little bit of everything. Hobby, Shadowspire, Warhammer 40k, and yeah, and also how I do my videos. That's all what the questions I have. Remember, if you want to keep seeing or if you want to keep watching me answering your questions, leave the questions in the comments below, and they will be answered more or less around the 15th of November. Of course, if something is happening earlier, when I answering the questions, maybe will be outdated. So don't ask me about the news of the next week, because it's not, I will not. Well, if I see something like that and it's an opinion, maybe I do a video. But the objective of this Ask Victor is to go on more generic questions or long-term questions. That's all for now. As usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.